And now, we've come to the portion of our show where we have to ask, what just happened? We can't believe it either, but let's take a look back at the insanity that was this week and look ahead to what will make us facepalm next week. This is What Just Happened on the Dean Obeidallah Show. Take it away, Dean.
And welcome back, Dean Obeidallah Show. We're live Friday, October 26th. Yes, it's still the same show. Yes, it's odd, upbeat, fun music for a night talking about an attempted assassination on two former presidents, Secretary of State, and the list goes on. But to help make sense of it and maybe find some humor here and there, first, Danielle-Moodie Mills, activist and host of Woke AF, airs right on this channel Sunday morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Danielle, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
And for the white perspective,
why don't you just say for the guilty?
For Kevin Dombrowski, very funny comedian, touring around the country, and he's white. And welcome, Kevin. Nice to see you again, my friend.
Public defender of the accused.
No, this is not. No,
good to be here.
It's interesting because the guy today, the bomber, the terrorist guy, MAGA bomber, we call him. He's Native American, at least that we get an understanding is he doesn't seem white, but there's a sense that he is white, and I'm not sure.
He does not seem white, but the fact that he's Native American kind of makes it okay to me.
But is he Native American? Because it's not sure. No, it's not clear if he really is connected to any kind of.
How do you say his name? You can't
Cesar. They're saying Cesar Sayoc.
I announced it Donald Trump Jr. That's why I pronounce it. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Do you think he heard that name and was like, definitely a Muslim? And
no. I know.
And he was totally happy.
You'll see my point.
Yeah.
If his name was Mohammed Sayoc, how would it be different? I mean, seriously, if his name was Mohammed Sayoc.
Oh, I said that like 18 times today and like 1,000 tweets.
I'll tell you how it would be exactly the same.
Show
as
beyond.
If it was Mohammed, he would be on a fight carrier. With all the jets behind him and just a "We Won" banner behind him, like George Bush. That's exactly what it would be.
Yes.
And if he was black, Danielle, how do you think they'd be?
We'd be talking about him in the past tense.
Right. He'd be killed. He'd be dead.
So there's that.
He would actually be assassinated.
There it is.
So if he was a black Muslim, he'd be dead.
There would be no Dylan Roof treatment where you get to stop after assassinating 9 people, black people, while praying. You get to stop for a Big Mac before you go to prison because, the cops thought you were hungry.
Right.
Yeah, that's how white people get arrested.
Also, by the way, who knew he was living in the Wayne's World van? Like, what is that? Like,
with all the stickers on it.
Plastered. Yeah, why don't you just say #MAGA bomber on the side of that? Like, come on.
I'm sure that there is a sticker on there that actually says that.
MAGA bomber?
They just haven't found it.
The van's knocking. No, the van.
If the van is smoking, don't come and knock it.
Right, something about, like, don't bump this van if the door is closed. Or bombs on board, like instead of baby on board, you got a bombs on board little sign.
You know what? I'm gonna take you to a club with me after this. You need to work that out.
There's something humorous somewhere deep down.
It sounds like the next Marvel movie, MAGA bomber. That's what it sounds like.
He is. Well, I mean, I've had some fighting with some Trump supporters. He's not a MAGA bomber. The guy's van is like a billboard for Donald Trump. It's got even CNN sucks on it. It's got a bullseye.
A bullseye on Hillary Clinton's face.
It's so over the top, it doesn't seem real.
The only thing
it's
missing is Trump's hair, like the shaggy van in Dumb and Dumber. If it had his hair just blowing in the wind.
That would be amazing.
So to what level, Kevin White Privilege Dombrowski.
Oh, there it is. That's actually how you pronounce my middle name. Did you know that? It's spelled Michael, but you pronounce it White Privilege.
Kevin W.P. Dombrowski. To what extent would you say, all partisanship aside, does Donald Trump play a role in this man committing this?
Yes, he does. He absolutely does. And it's for the same reason. And I don't know if you, God, I'm going to use Insane Clown Posse as an example because they are categorized by the FBI as an actual gang. Are they gang leaders? No. But the people that listen to their music do, they hear the lyrical content and then they act accordingly to that. And they all dress the same. They call themselves the Juggalos. They have this whole march. Now, the two of them are like, they had this march on Washington. We're not gang leaders. We're not gang. Okay, look at the 500 people behind you repeating exactly what you're saying in the same way. This is what happens when you're not aware of what This is what happens when you're not aware of what you're saying and how influential you are. The same thing happened, and I'm going to talk about it on my side, when Kanye said George Bush doesn't care about black people. You had disenfranchised black people going, you know what? He's absolutely right. George Bush doesn't care about us.
Right.
It's the same on this side, except this is to a so far extreme. This is almost radical republicanism. Is really what it is.
Republicans, it's Trumpism.
It's not almost. It is radicalism because you said, Dean, what would be, what would have happened if their name had been Muhammad, right? If they had been a Muslim. Well, I tell you, is that on Fox News and on every single channel, they would have been talking about how he got radicalized. What was the way in which he became radicalized? How did this happen? Blah, blah. It's a white guy, right, with all this Trump shit all over his car, but they're not saying, oh, how did the Republicans and their rhetoric radicalize this person? No, because in their mind, white people can't be radicalized, right?
Oh, they can be.
He's
Have you ever
an
seen a white
guy.
skateboarder? Radical. Come on.
Earlier in the show, I went through how Donald Trump, his recruitment approach is the same as extremist groups. I was just at a conference last week for a whole day on extremism. That's what I do for fun.
Were you being recruited?
I was I was teaching.
That sounds like a blast.
I was teaching how to recruit.
It literally
to
sounds like
groups.
the worst conference ever.
And
actually,
it was actually great. I learned a lot. But the way extremists recruit is they go, grievance is number one. They find your grievances. Second, they appeal to your identity, being race or religion. And third, they offer you to be part of something bigger than yourself, something to give you purpose. That's why this guy fits the whole thing. He's living in his van. He was depressed. I don't know, depressed. He had filed for bankruptcy before. His life wasn't working out.
Right.
A lot of the ISIS guys in Europe, while they were younger, had prior criminal records the same way. Their lives were a mess.
Okay. Can we talk about the financial scenario in Germany after World War I? I mean,
After World War One?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that they were recruited, and the Jews were blamed for something else that happened. It's history repeats itself. And if you're not aware of the influential position that you're in and what you're saying can be taken, okay, is there deniability? Well, I didn't know those people would say that. It's like that, what is that Eminem lyric? I just said it. I didn't know if they do it or not. To a certain point.
And to the certain to
that's
the,
right.
to that
That's
point.
right. I just quoted Eminem.
Yeah,
Are we
but
not? We're just
but
going to gloss over the fact.
Shady 45 is right. It's right. It's the studio
That's right. That's
over.
Eminem's channel.
But the reality is that Trump can't claim, and Republicans can't claim like deniability and say, well, I didn't know. He was literally just congratulating the Montana representative that body slammed a reporter.
Let's play that, because I have that. Lauren, let's play Donald Trump praising Greg Gianforte. Just last week, here's clip number 4.
There we go.
But Greg is smart. And by the way, never wrestle him. You understand that? Never. Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind of...
All right, and then there was a Zeke Heil after that. It was a big Heil. So look, we're arguably comedians here, both of us. But like if you as a comedian, you can tell a joke about this, it doesn't matter. But when you're president of the United States and you have 5,000 people there who listen to every word and look for you as more than a president, but as somehow they're a leader of their, if you want to call it a cult, their sect, whatever it is, these words mean something.
I'll tell you right now, when people started looking at comedians like politicians and holding us to a higher standard, that's when the comedy industry turned upside down, and that's when politics turned upside down. When you can watch the president go, oh, don't wrestle him because, that's this will happen. I saw him. I'll defend you in court. But then a comedian says something.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, my God, how could you say
like
that?
Michelle Wolf.
Right. Oh, my. What do you? Okay. I also just talked about shitting in an elevator, and you were dying laughing, and all of a sudden now you're going to take me seriously?
That'll be Trump tomorrow's rally.
Right.
We're doing that
I
joke.
also love how they were like, by the way, Trump, even though the bombings happened, or attempted bombings were in place, Trump is still going to his rally in Kentucky. It was like, yeah, no shit, because that's the safest place in the country right now. Why wouldn't
for him?
he?
Yeah,
right,
of
why
course.
wouldn't he go there?
Of course, and then still going there and listening to them yell CNN sucks and lock
here's
her
tonight.
up and
Tonight,
do the
did you hear
whole
tonight? By the way,
gin
Matt,
up
do you
shit.
have the clip still from tonight? You don't have the clip anymore. He's lost it. It's gone forever. Lauren's going to find it. Lauren, when you find that clip, you tell me. Because they're going to find it. All right, when you get it. Because that was remarkable. Earlier, I'm watching the Trump rally. They're monitoring it. And so I'm closed caption. I can only see the faces of his audience. He's talking about unity and stuff. Oh, yeah. And people are like smirking. Like, yeah, sure. And then he starts slamming the media. And they're like, yeah, like that. Literally, that's what happened tonight.
Because they know to read between the lines.
This was at his rally tonight. Listen, this is tonight. tonight. I'm not kidding. That's not a joke. That happened tonight. This is what Donald Trump. Now, he was not on stage at that point, but that was his rally.
Well, that's because it's his entrance music.
That's right. His chanters.
Oh my God!
Cue the chanters.
You're totally right, though. That is.
Cue the CNN sucks
comes
chanters.
out like this.
He's a WWE wrestler. He's just.
But the reality is that here it's very human. When they plant the bombs, there are people there. My friends work at CNN. I mean, I write for them weekly.
Right.
I don't go in.
Yep.
And the result is, look, I've gotten a hate mail for years, especially from Kevin. But
well, you only have me on once a month, so.
Right. So, but I'm trying to I'm trying to look for the one I got today to read you, because this one, and I've gotten death threats only during Donald Trump. I never got death threats before Donald Trump.
You said that the other day on Twitter. Yeah.
Why is that email address from your wife that you're pulling up?
That's not. I don't have a wife. I've got, well, sort of. All right, I got my Hendy, here's what I got from this guy today, and it's the choice of words. He goes, Dicko.
Oh my God.
That's all I'm going to call you from now on, by the way.
He goes, it is because of vermin scumbags just like you that people hate the liberal media. And to me, what is upsetting about that is that vermin is the way the Nazis would describe Jews, to dehumanize them, so you could kill them. And then he goes on to other stuff, and then he goes, you crybabies got exactly what you degenerate pieces of shit deserve. Stop whining. And so he's defending the bombs, right? But
so
dehumanizing.
That was in response.
Today. That was
in response to the bombs. That email
exactly.
to you.
That was. But I've gotten many, and I had one last week who insisted that we were going to fight. He was going to come to New York from Virginia and fight. But I was so intrigued I had to respond to that one, because usually I don't respond. And I go, you want to fight me over my article? Let me get this. Because, you think you're tough. I'm like, I just wrote an article. Why do you think I'm tough? Why do I think I'm tough?
You're like,
I'm a writer. You should see my posture when I type.
I'm like, but then he goes, give me an address. I'm there. So I actually gave him an address, and it was the
Time Warner building?
No, the police precinct. It was New York Comedy Club. Like, ask for Ryan.
Send him to Caroline's November 20th. They'll be there.
No, I gave him a police precinct in Midtown, and he must have Googled it. He goes, real funny. And that was the end of him. But, some of them, very few of them I really think will engage in violence. But I made a plea earlier in the show that don't engage in violence. Don't let Trump radicalize you, because you go to jail, he doesn't.
But
he doesn't care about you.
Honestly, I don't think that it is a rarity. Like, I think that we need to start actually looking at the big picture. These people, they were kicking before Trump was elected, at his campaign rallies. There was a person in a wheelchair, and they were kicking, who was protesting there, and they were kicking the wheelchair of a disabled person who was protesting at a Trump rally.
How else is he going to get out of there?
They're so friggin' deranged. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I think
some of them are. So I want to be responsible about this, though. I really want to be responsible.
On the edge.
I want to be responsible in the way we talk about Trump supporters, because some are horrific, despicable people, and there are others who are sort of economic issues, and some hated Hillary's. Some
anymore, Dean. They're just racist.
I don't know if every single one is. I can't tell you that. I honestly don't know. I could guess that and say,
I'm
sure.
Gonna go out
I can tell you that they're not troubled by racism, but they continue to support this guy. That's absolutely
true. If you're
true.
not troubled by racism, you're a racist.
Can I tell you? I was also
speaking.
If
of
it
Kevin.
doesn't bother you.
That's actually my interest music. I was actually waiting on that presidential tweet for him to go. Believe me, people. There's good people that have mailed bombs on both sides. On both sides, believe me, good people.
Good, but he did tweet today before the guy was arrested, about the bombing, making it about the Republican turnout, saying
turnout was really
Republicans are doing so well in early voting and at the polls, and now this bomb, in quotes,
I saw that.
Bomb stuff happens, and the momentum greatly slows. News not talking politics, very unfortunate. What is going on?
It's because we're talking
Fire!
Public safety.
Must be bad. Like, he's ridiculous. By the way, it wasn't a hoax. Let's play the clip. This is Christopher Wray, the FBI director, today on the bombs. It's a quick clip number 5.
We can confirm that 13 IEDs were sent to various individuals across the country. Each device consisted of roughly 6 inches of PVC pipe, a small clock, a battery, some wiring, and what is known as energetic material, which is essentially potential explosives and material that give off heat and energy through a reaction to heat, shock, or friction. Though we're still analyzing the devices in our laboratory, these are not hoax devices.
Not hoax devices. So there should be no air quotes around the word bombs. And when the guy is the president, and the guy, it is unreal to have someone who happens to be in the White House, who I view as the person who radicalized this terrorist, because the targets he picked were the ones of Trump's targets. It wasn't like random Democrats. That would be different. If he just picked people Trump never talked about, you're like, well, maybe. But this is a direct line.
You went after De Niro.
I know. I mean,
it's not random Democrats. That shows you right there. The linear equation is these are all direct critics of Trump.
But
I've heard Trump talk about them. I've heard other Republicans talk about them in denigrating ways, which means that they are a problem. And if I get rid of them, then I'm going to become some type of Republican deity and, raised up to the heavens. That's like the psychology that's happening right now.
And he went after Tom Steyer, we learned today, and Cory Booker and all these people. I criticize Trump every day. How come I didn't?
Don't.
I was actually
put
wondering.
it out there, Dean.
Because you get called Dicko. You don't get sent bums.
I get my things are a little more subtle. All right, let's take a
plus
break.
you're used to bombing on stage, so people.
Folks, catch Kevin at the Never Back on this show. Catch him while you can. He'll be getting up the commercial. Let's take a break. Come back. We got to take some phone calls. All right, guys.
I love it.
And because a lot of people want to talk about this issue, very passionate. 866-997-4748. We'll take a break. We'll take some calls. Kevin Dombrowski and Danielle-Moodie Mills is here about your reaction. What is going on? Where do we go next? This is just off the charts craziness. We'll be back after this break. Every day between now and Election Day, ask yourself, what am I doing to help the resistance win? The stakes are so high, we cannot take off a single day.
The Dean Obadala Show.
You're listening to What Just Happened with everyone's favorite host, Dean Obadala.
And welcome back, Dean Obadala Show. We're live Friday, October 26th, joined It's our weekly segment, What Just Happened? And joined by Danielle-Moodie Mills and comedian Kevin Dombrowski. We'll try to take a couple of calls here and there. First of all, here is Kendall, who wants to make some points. Kendall, how are you, Kendall?
Yeah, I had questions about these bombs, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
First off, PCV pipe just wouldn't work.
Have you made bombs,
you
Kendall? Are you a bomb maker?
No.
How do you know that?
No.
Seriously.
Well, when I was a kid, I did a lot of stupid stuff, and I took a stick, and I put a nail through the stick, and I whacked the end of a shotgun shell, and it just goes poof. There's nothing constricting it. You need the barrel of the gun barrel to contain, just poof. It did nothing. Second off, I have the exact same clock on the dash of my truck right now.
Kendall, you're incriminating yourself. I just want to know that.
So what does that mean that you have the same clock? What does that mean, though?
Well, they sell them at truck stops. They stick on. They have a little Velcro thing on the back. It gives you the date and the time. It's not a timer. It's just a clock. It flips back and forth between the date and the time.
So what is Kendall? You're getting to a bigger point. I know you are, Kendall.
You're not
bring it
driving.
home, Kendall.
And third off, they're describing match heads.
What?
When they're describing the propellant in it, they're describing match heads.
So, Kendall, what's your point?
Kendall, what's your point?
What's your point? Because I would love for you to cut to the chase.
Well, and the other point I'd like to make is...
Okay.
Because you didn't make your first point, Kendall. You didn't make
I know what you're doing, Kendall. We all know what you're doing, Kendall.
You're fighting for the quotation marks, aren't you?
Right. You're saying it's not a real bomb. But in reality, Kendall, under U.S. law, it doesn't matter because there's a hoax law. And
I know it doesn't matter, but this is really incredibly stupid.
Well, the guy's not that bright. And his life, the guy's life didn't work out well. I feel for human beings like that. And he was living in his van, apparently. He had filed for bankruptcy. He was living with his mom. So... And unfortunately, he thought he can redeem his life, I'm assuming, by doing something huge to help a person that he really likes.
I'll tell you this, Kendall. The definition of terrorism may not be killing people, but it's instilling terror into people. And my wife
For a
works...
political agenda.
Exactly. My wife works 2 blocks away, and I was just telling these guys in the break that she got an alert on her phone saying shelter in place. Mm-hmm. If that's not a terrifying situation, regardless of whether it went off or whether it's real or what have you, that is a terror-stricken situation.
But to be fair, she gets that same alert every time you come home, right?
Yeah, but
no.
And let me tell you, Kendall, my PVC pipe does not work either.
Whoa.
So just so you know.
All right. So Kendall, your point is, there's still we don't know. I don't know if they could have went off or not, Kendall, but that doesn't matter. Domestic terrorism, and I'm looking at the definition right now under federal law.
Matt is chomping at the bit to say something.
Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, I agree. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Thank you.
All right. Domestic.
All I'm saying.
All right, Kendall. Kendall, Kendall, you've never, I must say this about Kendall, I've disagreed with him all the time. Never once, I'm not joking, have you even inferred violence or suggested violence. That's the way it should be. We can discuss and debate passionately on issues. There should never be any invocation of even hints of violence. And that's on both sides. I'm not doing a both sides thing. I think never. We should uniformly just say it's wrong. And right now we're hearing it from Trump. And I want people on the right, because if you hear people on the left calling out... Go ahead.
I'm just scratching my head trying to make sense out of this whole deal. That's all I'm trying to do.
All right, Kendall.
I'm looking at this thing, and there's no way that was going to hurt anybody.
Does your truck have any?
It doesn't matter, Kendall, whether or not it was going to.
Is your truck a white van that says CNN sucks on the side of it?
Did that come with a car phone, or is this your cell phone? I just want to.
All right, Kendall. I gotta go. Kendall, it was good talking to you. That was one of the more recent discussions. By the way, the definition of domestic terrorism means any act that is dangerous to human life, that's a violation of U.S. law, that appears to be intimidate, of course, a civilian population or influence a policy or government, or to mass destruction or assassination of government officials.
Do you understand how Republicans are trying to wrap themselves into a pretzel?
I don't know why. I don't know why. Just condemn it and move on.
I said this on Twitter before. I was just like, there was a time when our politics weren't so divisive that when there was an act of terror, when there was an act of violence, that it was just universally condemned.
That's what brought us together.
And I'm so confused about why in this moment Republicans are either silent or making excuses. And so that tells me that you just don't give a shit, right? That this country, like if you're running for Senate, if you're the president of the United States, it's fine for you to only talk to your conclave of people, but everybody else, you just leave out in the wind.
That's why the Republicans are doing so well in early voting. This was a tweet of a president.
Yeah, but look at
when there's a nationwide terror campaign.
I just don't.
Assassination attempts against former presidents. That's ridiculous.
Where are supposedly
There's
these good, well-meaning Republicans to say, you know what?
The leaders. Where are the leaders?
This is problematic because that is their leader, and that's who they're taking their lead from.
When you have Pence tweet something that makes the most sense, and then Donald Trump
does a retweet,
retweets
okay,
it, and says,
let's play
"I
clip number 6.
wholeheartedly agree."
Here, clip number 6. Right to your point. Here it comes. Got it.
Vice President Pence tweeted, "We condemn the attempted attacks against former President Obama and the Clintons, CNN, and others. These cowardly actions are despicable and have no place in this country. Grateful for swift response of Secret Service, FBI, and local law enforcement. Those responsible will be brought to justice." That is a nice sentiment. So nice that the president, instead of making his own statement, just retweeted, adding, "I agree wholeheartedly."
Took the words right out of his mouth.
First of all, we fact-checked that one, and it doesn't work out. You have no whole heart. And second, you're the president. There's been an attempted attack on two previous presidents today. This is the one time you can't think of your own tweet?
That's funny.
It reminds me of Lincoln's first draft of the Gettysburg Address. What that first guy said.
Well, not only that, but look at when. Okay, so that was 3 hours after it happened. He retweeted that, and then 3 hours after that, Trump stood outside of the White House. You know when? When you were a kid and you got punished, and it was like, now what did you do wrong? But you don't really know what you did wrong, but you're repeating what your parents said you did wrong.
Yep.
That's exactly what Trump looked like. He was like, "That has no place in our country." The attacks, and you could like hear his eyes rolling in the back. It's like, could you say that with any less emotion?
With any emotion, like whatsoever. Just like, and all I ask in these moments, if you can't do any, just fucking pretend. Pretend that you care about everybody. When he was asked today by reporters, have you reached out to the former presidents to say, this is terrible that this happened? He said, yeah, it was recommended, decided not to. What a dick.
I passed, right? Dicko.
Yeah.
That's Dicko.
Yeah.
Not
That is
me.
Dicko.
I'm not Dicko. It would have been if George Bush was president and there was bombs sent to Bill Clinton, George W. Bush would have called Bill Clinton.
He would have called
and
him.
Said,
Okay,
hey,
first off, I feel like they triple date because they're all
always
like,
together.
No, but I mean,
tight.
stop, I'm talking
Super
about
tight.
then, not
Always
now.
together.
People are like, do you miss Bush? I'm like, I would hug Cheney.
I would, yeah.
I miss
With the
Mussolini.
shotgun in his
I miss
hand.
Mussolini at this point. I mean, forget Bush. This is just crazy talk. But where's the GOP leadership? Where's Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell? Do you think it's fair to ask Republican leaders in Congress to stand up and have a press conference?
What the hell were they voted in for, Dean?
To not have a press conference and say, like, this is wrong to their base, and they won't do it because we're 11 days from election.
We're going to have this collective conversation. We're going to come together. Somebody was talking about this on MSNBC. Usually this would be a moment where the entire Congress, people would come together. Right. They were out on the steps with the last big attack, and they were singing like "We Shall Overcome" or whatever the hell they were doing. It was symbolic, but the point of the fact was that it was a mirror to the American people. Like, we are still unified. We can disagree without being disagreeable. But now, when you have something like this happen, can you just imagine what Republicans would be saying if, in fact, all of those bombs had been sent to Republicans? They would be losing their friggin' mind right now.
Well, they would say, look at Democrats, they're an angry mob. That's what they're about. This undermines their whole angry mob argument, by the way. It's gone now.
They also say oh, what if you did this like to Obama? Flip it. It would be, like everyone
and I'm
would
like,
be
oh,
losing.
you mean the nooses that
Right.
you used to have at your Tea Party rallies?
Everyone would be losing their mind. And it's like, yeah, no shit, dude. You're in the same situation.
All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back, discuss this a little more. I want to talk about the young black leaders, Danielle, who are at the White House, and how come you weren't invited to the Trump Young Black Leaders event?
I wonder why, Dean.
I think Kanye got your invite.
So, okay, let's take a quick break. Come back with more of the Dean Dollar Show, our weekly segment, What Just Happened. November 6, 2018 isn't just Election Day. It is Judgment Day for progressives and our vision of this country.
Don't go anywhere. This is the Dean Obadala Show on SiriusXM Progress 127.
listening to What Just Happened with everyone's favorite host, Dino Bidala.
Welcome back, Dino Bidala Show. Quick thing, folks. If you're in the New York area, November 1st, a big event at the Apollo Theater. It's free for subscribers. Apollo Theater, in association with SiriusXM, presents Apollo Uptown Hall. Say it loud with your vote. Co-hosted by Karen Hunter and the Reverend Alice Sharpton. Great panel of people like Joe Madison, Selena Maxwell, Michael Steele. Free tickets, folks. ApolloTheater.org. That's right, ApolloTheater.org. While supplies last. November 1st. Be a part of it. And, all right, so, Danielle, there was young black people, black leaders.
And I'm putting black in quotation.
Why are you staring at me when you say that, though?
Because, no. So, at the White House today, where Donald Trump gave his little speech, and they were extremely excited to see Donald Trump, more than some white people. I'm going to be honest. I was like, what WTF? What is this?
I mean, I looked at that and I was embarrassed for them. Look, there is a sect in everybody's family that you actually don't invite. You invite to Thanksgiving because you have to, but you really hope that they don't show up. That's them. I don't know what they were cheering about. Maybe they got money under their MAGA hats. I have no idea, because according to him, every protester, every person that is against him is paid. So I'm going to assume that the people that are cheering with and waving their hats, I'm assuming that they got a check on the way into the White House.
Did you watch him speak at all afterwards? He invoked Kanye, his one black friend, 3 or 4 times. I'm not even kidding.
I'm sure they went crazy over it, because he's just as bad as the rest of them. He's actually their cult leader.
So, the last poll I saw today, African-American support for Trump is around 10%.
Why? Why is it at double digits?
It could be.
Who are those people?
I agree with you. But the point is, he's not doing this for them. Who is he doing this for? Because he's not going to get more African-Americans.
He's doing it for the white people that want to feel comfortable about the fact that they're not racist, right? Look at me. If I were racist, I wouldn't have black people in my home. If I were racist, I wouldn't sit down with Kanye West. If I were racist, that's the kind of ideology that they feed into, which is the idea that if I were racist, then all of these things wouldn't happen. The reality is that no, he's a white supremacist. Kanye West was sporting, Confederate flag, and he's an absolute moron, doesn't read. And the black people that were in the audience, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what their ideology is. All I can say is that they clearly don't understand anything that has to do with social justice, the struggle, any type of rights movement, any type of policy that he's been putting out, because everything that he has put out, whether you are queer, if you are black, if you are a woman, is anti all of those things. So what they're celebrating, I'm unclear. Maybe that, they get to stay in the big house. I have no idea.
Now, why are you staring at me while
So
because your middle name is May.
Right. So
WP.
White privilege. So what why? Sorry, Kevin. So when you look at this, as a white guy, I mean, I think you're a center left guy type of thing. You're not like a hardcore liberal, but anyway, you see there, he's meeting with young black leaders. They're excited to see him. When you watch that, how does that play in your mind?
I'm jealous he's got that many black friends. No, I think, dude, I don't know.
Why do you think he's doing it? I mean, when you see this...
Well, he's obviously doing it because it's throwing it in people's faces. That is the ultimate, see, I've got a black friend. It's the ultimate.
It's ultimate.
That is it right there. If you're ever like, yeah, but I can make that black joke because I've got a black friend. He might as well have a curtain and just pull it up and da-da! In the background.
It's embarrassing.
And if he had a lot of African Americans in his administration and key level positions, or had been good for policy on African American community issues, it would be different. But you have none of that. You have a guy who's not about that whatsoever.
Because he's not about the substance. He's about the show. And look at her. And he's about Ben Carson. He can't string a sentence together. And the only thing that he knows about the housing, urban, and development is the fact that he lives in a house. Like there's no real substance or reality connected into anything that he does. Everything is about what it is at face value.
It's all surface.
That's it.
But speaking of Ben Carson, I think Carson's problem was he did so many surgeries that anesthesia leaked out during surgeries, and he breathed it in, and that explains that.
Somebody should do some research on that.
He's like Dr. Hibbert in The Simpsons.
So all right, we got to play our game, which makes me feel better about myself. I'm going to give you some quotes from the week, and then ready for our game? Do we have the announcement, Lauren?
Now it's time for America's newest game show sensation. Guess who's Shannon?
This is insane. It's huge. This is sweeping the nation. It's hotter. It's bigger than the Trump train.
I think I have a good record on this.
You actually guys do. You guys are both very bright. I'm going to give you a quote and 4
I like
people.
how he sets us up. You see how he set us up?
You're going to really, you're the best. You're the smart. You two are the smartest I got here.
Really bright.
All right, here we go. I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist. Was it A, Al Sharpton, B, Andrew Gillum, C, Stacey Abrams, D, Hillary Clinton?
B, Gillum.
Well, that was fast. Do you even know who Andrew Gillum is?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He's running for governor in Florida, black man, and
Come
he's
on,
brilliant.
white boy Rick. He was running for governor.
This is a goddamn setup.
All right, okay.
This game is a hoax.
Is white boy Rick a wrong thing to say? Kevin's my buddy, so I can say this. It's funny when I say things to people. Sometimes, like for comedians, we can say anything, the harshest thing. And sometimes I joke around with people who I'm friends with, but they're not comedians. And like Ayman Mohadeen, my buddy at NBC. And he said something to me, and I came back. I'm at a comedian, and the look on his face was like, "Why would you say that?" And it was just a typical comic thing where we have no soul.
That's how you know if a comic.
We're impervious to pain. We are impervious to pain.
That's how you know if a comic likes you. If you walk in and he's like, "Oh, Dicko, what are you doing?" Like you know you're in good. If you walk in and no one says hi to you, you ate shit that night.
Today I came in and Matt was eating with chopsticks, and I was like, I feel uncomfortable with you eating with chopsticks.
Oh my God.
You
can't let us have anything. Get to the next question.
Oh my God. Go to the next question.
I said, you're co-opting Asian culture. And then even Lauren, she looked at me oddly. I'm like, I don't want to explain that. I'm just joking. But I'm
My
like,
God.
All right. So I'm
How
like,
do you even drive here?
What
kind of car do you have? Do you have a Hyundai? Because you shouldn't be driving that, Dean.
Co-opting.
I was co-op. All right, here we go. Fake news, fake bombs. Who could possibly benefit by so much fakery? Trump, Laura Ingraham, Lou Dobbs, Sean Hannity.
I'm going to say Trump.
Do you have a guess?
Hannity.
Wrong. Lou Dobbs.
God damn it.
Good one there. All right. Matt put these together. I think Matt and Lauren is Matt. I'm not sure, but Nina said
Nina
she did.
put it
Nina's
together.
here. Nina's back, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
She's here tonight.
I was wondering why all the white people were losing in this game.
I don't want to speculate on my worst fears, but either Trump doesn't know what he's doing or he has an absolutely convoluted notion of what allows America to lead the world. Was it Elizabeth Warren, Obama, Joe Biden, Beto O'Rourke?
Melania.
Not there.
No, okay.
Biden.
Biden's right. You're right. Melania.
She wouldn't be able to string those sentences together. Let's be clear.
You don't know how long it took her.
She be best.
That's true.
She was just being best.
She be best.
Be best. That's her campaign. It's missing. Like no one told her it's missing like a preposition. She's like, I'm not gonna do the impression, but you know what I'm saying. Be best. I don't know why we can't
it'd give you more dimension on stage if you fleshed it out.
If I did the whole joke, I do a joke about like she seems nice for a hostage, and then I go on from there. All right, let's continue here. Yes, the president is speaking mistruths. Yes, the president is lying, but he's doing it intentionally to incite certain people, which would include left-leaning journalists and most of the left-leaning politicians. Jeff Flake, Hillary Clinton, Paul Ryan, Scaramucci.
Scaramucci.
Oh,
everybody got the mooch right. All right, I think we got one more here. Here's one more.
Board.
He's not capable of being a unifier. In fact, I've become convinced he doesn't know how to accept a personal responsibility and always finds someone else to blame. A, Joe Biden, B, me, C, Hillary Clinton, D, John Kasich.
I'm going to go with
I'm going to go with you.
It wasn't. Well, I would have said that, of course. But of those options, Biden, Clinton, Kasich. It was John Kasich.
Kasich.
He's been on a lot more. I don't know. I don't think he could run and be the Republican nominee. I can't see him beating the nicer, gentler Republican who's still way out there politically on many issues. I can't see him winning the Republican Party nomination.
There's no Republican that's going to go out and be able to actually win.
No.
Flake thinks that he's going to be able to do that with his like faux media tour that he's doing right now around Kavanaugh, but it's not going to happen.
So De Niro, by the way, said today, what do you guys think of this? He said the best response, he goes, quote, "There's something more powerful than bombs, and that's your vote. People must vote." What do you think?
I mean, I thought his response was good. I also want Democrats to stop just telling people to vote and actually tell them who to vote for. So somebody called into my show last weekend and they're like, it should be vote blue no matter who.
Right.
That's
exactly.
what that
vote
is.
Blue,
That's
is that a
they're
reverend
like,
who said that?
no, yeah, that's just what he
was a
said.
guy
It
who
was just
called
like
me and said
it was just like vote blue no matter who. And I'm like, I'm tired of Democrats just saying like go vote. No, vote for Democrats because they have your best interests involved. Vote for Democrats because they actually care about your kitchen table issues. Vote for Democrats because they're not going to deny you health care. Like, stop saying just like go vote. Like, you tell people who to vote for.
But if we tell them to vote, you don't think it's implicit if I'm a Democrat telling people to vote?
I want them to be so explicit that I can't make it up.
More explicit than Donald Trump.
I'm actually into the more well-known slogan of if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. That's actually the Democratic slogan that I was into.
So we're 11 days from a midterm election. Which,
by the way, I have to say I tweeted this last night, and
it was genius.
I've never been more proud of this. Talk about people dropping the ball on whoever you think dropped the ball this week. I think if by the end of this week the porn industry does not produce an adult film
for Megyn Kelly.
No.
Damn it!
Titled Suspicious Package in the Midterm Erections, starring Stormy Daniels, someone has dropped the goddamn ball. Someone needs to be fired.
You need to tweet directly at Avenatti.
Someone needs to be
Stormy.
fired for this.
You should tag Stormy in that. That's a funny thing. Well,
damn it, that's funny. That's
at
good.
Kevin Dombrowski. Go retweet that if you see that. At Kevin Dombrowski.
If it wasn't for this bombing and everything, we would have talked about Megyn Kelly. We have a few minutes. What's your reaction to her? Do you really think it was the one comment on?
No, you know what I think?
I don't.
I actually think that she showed up. I think she showed up to that black party at Trump's house in blackface. I think that's why she's not at NBC. I think she tried to get into the meeting.
Oh, I thought it was powerful leaders. I was just trying to be, in character.
Yeah. Is this the Apollo?
She
Did I get this address wrong?
Her ratings have sucked since she came on air.
$60 million
She got a $69 million contract. She was making double what Tamron Hall was making. She makes double what Al Roker is currently making.
Double what you
at,
make, Dean.
At the Today Show. And she's mediocre as F. Right? Like, she is horrible. But she is the epitome of white privilege. This is what it looks like when you're like, oh, her ratings are down. They gave her an evening show. That failed. That was pulled away. She had a daytime show. That failed. It's like, how do you get to continue failing and make that much money?
She came out of Fox News.
No,
why did they think she was going to be good for anything but
because they were trying to appeal to the economically deprived people.
It's not even that. It's not even that. This is the cause and effect that reality TV has on this country. If you saw how she moderated the debates and got into arguments and kept things on, it's the reality portion of us. It's the Kim and Kanye. It's all of that shit. She got ratings because of that debate, and it's like, oh, she's fiery. Let's put her on TV. Let's give her this thing. She's attractive. This, and the whole package right there, and then we'll see it. And it was just none. It was none of that.
It was never going. It was never going to make the bridge, to make the jump that it needed to a mainstream NBC audience. Like, it just wasn't going to fly, and everybody knew that. I stopped watching the Today Show when they let Tamron. Yep, I stopped watching it because I'm like, if this is who you're supporting, then I know where your politics are aligned. You could pick anybody. Tamron Hall and Al Roker, that 9 a.m. hour was doing really well. Right? It was doing really well. She came on, it started tanking, and they just kept it on, kept a leash on her and kept it going. If that person had been a person of color and their ratings would have tanked, what do you think would have happened? I'm just tired of people not telling the truth. The only reason why she's there because she's white and she's blonde, and white people get to be mediocre and everybody else has to be exceptional. And I'm tired of it.
Hold on, this is working.
By the
White,
way,
blonde, and mediocre. I feel like I'm
He's
talking
bald.
to my childhood. I'm talking to my childhood girlfriend. This is getting me going.
What about the comment, the idea that she didn't understand that blackface could be offensive? Like, how do you? She's a smart person. She sees what goes on in the media. How do you say that with a straight face? I mean, was her goal to try to have a conversation?
How do you know that she's smart?
I mean, I guess.
Are we making?
I guess I'm making
big assumptions,
but she knows
that she reads a book.
She works in the media. She reads a teleprompter. She's seen
at
people
a 5th grade level.
Right. She's seen people who have put blackface on and been a huge backlash, even college students. So how do you not get that? Unless she was organically trying to start a conversation on that issue.
Because she genuinely doesn't care. Because she
That's
genuinely
what it is.
thinks
It's more like doesn't care.
people like her think that the rest of us who make a quote unquote big deal about blackface we just look for anything to be angry about. That she understands no historical context. She understands nothing about the political environment that we're living in, nothing about the struggle and oppression and what it means to be mocked, right? As a person, your culture, your personhood. None of that translates to her. It's like, oh, what's the big deal? She said everybody wants to be Diana Ross. And I'm like, what is like? Are you that stupid? You're 47 years old. At no point in your childhood was blackface exceptional.
No, at no point did you really want to be Diana Ross. Let's be honest.
Right. Except if you're that Rachel Doziel, right?
Right. All right. Let's take a quick break. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back with more of the Dean Obadala Show right after this.
Dean Obadala Show on Sirius XM Progress 127.
Your entire week's exhausted news broken down into one hilarious hour. What Just Happened is now live with Dean Obadala.
And welcome back, Dean Obadala Show. We're live for our weekly segment, What Just Happened, joined by comedian Kevin Dombrowski and Danielle-Moodie Mills. And Nina is in studio with us. Everyone remembers Nina used to work on the show until I fired her. No, I didn't fire her. She moved on to Zelina and Jess's show and done a great job. And she's doing stand-up comedy now. So at some point in the near future, she's going to be on our comedy panel. Right, Nina? No one can hear you when you speak.
Yes.
So, she's going to be famous. I'm going to echo
she might be. And I
One
hope
week not doing the radio show, she doesn't know not to speak into the microphone.
And I hope you're going to be famous for something good, Nina. That's my hope. I suppose something really bad. So, Kevin, we got like a minute left. Where can people? You're doing a big show at Caroline's coming up. Tell people.
Tuesday, November 20th at 7:30. I will be headlining Caroline's on Broadway. come on out for that. Carolines.com for tickets. Promo code STUPIDFACE for discounted tickets. And then KevinDombrowski.com and on Facebook for all the rest of my tour dates.
Stupid Face.
Stupid Face.
Danielle, what's your promo code name? Do you have a promo code nickname?
Is it Blackface?
It would be Black as Hell.
Princess of the Resistance.
Princess of the Resistance.
Where can people tell people again your show time and where they can follow you on Twitter, please?
You can listen to Woke AF on Sundays live right here on SiriusXM Progress Channel 127 from 10 to 1 p.m. Eastern. You can catch me on MSNBC tomorrow morning with Alex Witt talking about midterms and the backlash of the bomber. We'll be on in the 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern.
I'm supposed to be on 11 a.m. on Joy Reid show tomorrow, so we'll
back-to-back Sirius on MSNBC.
And Monday I won't be here. I'll be in North Carolina moderating Tom Steyer's last town hall he's doing in Greensboro, North Carolina. If you're in Greensboro, come out. It's free. Go to needtoimpeach.com. That's needtoimpeach.com. Sign up 7 o'clock to 8:30. Tom Steyer will be there. I'll be there. It's all about you. We're going to record it, play some of it on the show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. I'm at Twitter at Dean Obidala, or drop me an email, dean@deanofradio.com.
Address it to Dicko.
Dicko, exactly. Have a great night.